thank you for tuning in once again to Carl Nespoli is Dropping Names podcast, with some names you may recognize and others you may not. Um, Recently, I've been asked if I'm still doing my podcast. My answer is yes. I've just been traveling quite a bit and have not been able to have any guests over, but I've got a couple of big names coming that I'm really excited about. Huge in the stunt business, the movie business. And they are scheduled, one of them this week, and the other one TBD, when he's back in Georgia. So I'm really excited about that. But I wanted to just hop on tonight to discuss a couple of things. Uh, Side note, this is a Stuntmen Association's hat, which I'm not affiliated with. But I worked for a really cool stunt coordinator, Freddie Poole. And I did last two episodes of Tulsa King, and he was kind enough to give his stunt people the hat. So thanks, Freddie. So I'm sporting it in, you know, support of Freddie and all the members of the Stuntman Association. Anyway, back to business. So yes, I'm definitely doing podcasts. I wish I could do them every night. It's guest availability. I try not to do too much Zoom. I spent a lot on my office, and so I feel comfortable with having people in my office, as opposed to like Zoom. I don't know. It's a little bit more personal. But I wanted to speak about stunt people and the big misconception about stunt people and the differences between uh, a stunt person, a daredevil, and a jackass. And I don't mean that as a joke. I'm speaking about the very successful cast of Jackass, all those members, Knoxville, Steve-O, Wee Man, all those guys. Nothing against them. Absolutely nothing against them. Total respect. But just wanted to get the separation from a stunt person to a daredevil to a jackass. And so if you would allow me to do that, I will talk about it now. There goes my phone. Somebody's texting me. Anyway, so let's start off with a stunt person, stunt man. Stunt people, we are pretty methodical in the stunts that we choose to do. A lot of training goes prior to getting to that point to accepting a job that you are qualified to do. I will speak about a couple of jobs that I said I was qualified when I really wasn't. And I'll speak about those freely, and hopefully that will help upcoming stunt people to not make the same mistake I make. I always try to give advice to people that I made a mistake in, and I take it. I accept it, and I talk about it. I feel that we are responsible for doing so. I mean, it's just hopefully somebody doesn't make the same mistake. And I'll talk about it, really quick. I was starting out in the business, and one of the abilities that a stunt person should have is riding a ratchet or a wire, which is kind of like a backwards bungee. It pulls you backwards if we're doing explosions or a shotgun blast. It pulls us backwards into a wall or in the air, suspended, so on and so forth. And I took a job on a show called Charmed, working for the great Nuno Sadi. And, thank God it was him. Because on my resume, I had, ratchets, as one of my abilities. And he found out quickly on the first take that I didn't have any experience. And it was a total embarrassing thing. And he said to me, he asked me, how many ratchets have you ridden? And before I got to answer, he goes, that was your first one, right? And I go, yeah. And he goes, okay, cool, cool. Now we got the experience. Let me teach you the real way. Any other stunt coordinator, I would have been blackballed from that point on. My fault. 100%. I own it. Luckily, it was Nuno Sadi, and he gave me a crash course. The second take, which went great, went absolutely great, but they used the first take. Anyway, so um, getting back to you know, not doing anything that you are not qualified to do. But responsible stunt people um, do not accept any jobs that they're not qualified or haven't properly trained. So that's what stunt people do. Basically, we do the action for the actor. So the actor is able to concentrate on his or her lines and show up the next day uninjured. There's plenty of stunt doubles, stunt people. God forbid, if there's an accident, that can be put in to stunt double the actor or to take, the action. But there's only one actor, sorry. And so that's why, stunt people are utilized most of the time. And also for their physicality to make dangerous scenes look dangerous and walk away safely afterwards. So that's a stunt person. A daredevil will take not unnecessary risks, but risks that can cause them grave danger or paralyzation or, bodily injury. Um, they are risk takers, where stunt people, not so much. We're not really risk, takers. Calculated, yes. Unnecessary, no. And the Jackass boys, the very successful, very funny Jackass boys. Well, those guys just do crazy pranks to one another, to themselves, all for the enjoyment of the viewer. Some of it is extremely dangerous. They don't wear any kind of body protection like stunt people do. Um, and like I said, they are kind of it says in the beginning of their movies, the stunts you are about to see performed, those are not stunts. Those are careless, uh, unnecessary pranks. Sorry, guys. Love you guys. Love all the movies. Saw them all. But I would never do that. And most responsible stunt people, I think, agree with me, would never do that. And I wanted to talk about a little bit about myself getting into the business. And daredevils are often perceived as being fearless, as opposed to stunt people. I had tremendous fear. I had fear of heights, fear of airplanes. I was a claustrophobic, um, fear of doctors and needles a little bit. I could take them now. And also public speaking. I had a stuttering problem up until around age 16. And it was bad. It was really, really bad. So public speaking like this was, really, really terrifying to me. I'd like to say, or I often say, I made a career out of my fears, and I really did. Um, the first time I went skydiving, I was only planning on doing it one time, and I was terrified. I went with two of my buddies, Flash and Paul, after playing all night poker. I said, "Hey, let's go skydiving," and they agreed. And it was the scariest thing I ever did. that day, and I actually wet my jumpsuit. Um, it was terrifying, but I was hooked. And I had told the guys, I said, I'm going to be doing this again. And they knew that I was, terrified, was even the fellow jumpers up there saw me, cotton mouth, just, panting. I was terrified, but something connected with me. And I said, I'm going to be doing this for the rest of my life. I was a horrible student. I put myself in about four emergency situations because I was a total wreck up in the sky. Level 6, jump 13, jump 26, jump 75, and then I had two more after that. And these were all pilot or jumper error. And I'll speak about that on a skydiving podcast about those malfunctions. Some of them were life and death. Three of them were. I got to realize my connection with my faith real quickly. I actually made a deal three separate times. If you get me down, safely, I won't go back up. And that was a while ago. I still jump actually. And I made a living out of it because I was very comfortable. After a while in that emergency or hostile environment up in the sky, I became very comfortable because I had a total of seven malfunctions, six of them using my backup parachute. And as a result, I've done some commercials where I did intentional cutaways, where you would cut away your main parachute intentionally and then go to your secondary, which was my main. I was jumping three canopies, but I became, very, very comfortable. And that's what kind of got me into doing aerial stunts, taking out living room sets and bathroom sets and different objects and working with the greatest cinematographer, Joe Jennings, who also, by the way, has a fear of airplanes, like I do. And there's a reason. I've got a couple of reasons to it. I will speak about. The other one I won't speak about because I don't want to say that commercial travel is dangerous. I don't want to, but there was a huge incident. A lot of people know that my family was involved. Everyone survived, but a commercial jet accident, so on and so forth. But I won't speak about that again. Um, but I was in two emergency situations, one of them in a Cessna with a well trained pilot, Van Prey. We had to kind of come in on a emergency landing in his Cessna 182, and then another one with Scott Christensen. He had this kind of amphib aircraft where you could land in the water and also on the runway, and we had to come in on an emergency landing on the runway, skidding across the runway as this 737 commercial jet was like, watching us, and I was terrified. I feel more relaxed or confident jumping out of an airplane, landing with my parachute, because I have done it thousands of times, than I am in an aircraft. Leave it at that. So the misconception about stunt people being, fearless, not true. Again, I made a very nice living off of challenging my fear. And every time I am doing a stunt, I say to myself, why am I doing this? Why? Why am I doing this? And it's a love hate or a hate love relationship. But at the end of the day, the paycheck, clears, and I'm very happy. But kidding aside, I don't do it for the money, and I don't think any of us stunt people do it for the money. Um, we're not gluttons for punishment, but we just love the challenges, and performing on TV shows and feature films and commercials and live shows and et cetera and et cetera. So I wanted to just finish up with that and say, stunt people, calculated risks. Daredevils, some people will say unnecessary but exciting risks. Jackass, combination of maybe, both for the enjoyment of others. So that's my spiel on stunt people. So hopefully that kind of brought some knowledge and an embarrassing situation that you stunt people. Okay, if somebody tells you to put a ratchet or an air ram on your resume because you know what, you're just a passenger, don't listen. Don't listen to them. Only put what you are capable and confident doing, whether it's high falls, ratchets, air rams, trampoline, gymnastics, whatever you're comfortable and you could perform in many different positions. Only then you put that on your resume. Take my advice. Don't do what I did because you may not work for Nuno Sadi, who will cut you a break. You may work for somebody else. I won't mention the name. Garrett Warren. No, no. Yes, yes. If you don't show up on his set 100% trained, he's going to call you out on that. You're going to get fired. There are many other coordinators like that. So don't fib on your resume. Be truthful and be safe and have fun. And thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. Take care.